Hello, my name is Karime Alvarez and I will be presenting my social studies lesson. My social studies content standard is 3.1.1. Identify geographical features in their local region, examples desert, mountains, valleys, hills, coastal areas, oceans, and lakes. Now, the English content standard I chose is RI 3.1. Ask and answer questions to demonstrate understanding of a text, referring explicitly to the text as the basis for the answers. Now, the instructional objective is students will distinguish the different types of geographical features. Students will also identify the geographical features that are located in the state they live in. Now, the assessment, how I will informally check if my students have achieved the learning objective will be by giving them exit tickets, which will be task cards. Additionally, I will create a Kahoot game in which my students can practice their knowledge. And lastly, I will formally check if my students have achieved the learning objective by making my students make a presentation on a geographical feature found in California. Now, I will show some of the worksheets or things that will be given to my student so that they can achieve the objective. So this will be the first thing that will be given to my students. It is a list of vocabulary words, and students will find the definition of different geographical features that will be learned in the lesson, and this list will be very handy and very important when completing other worksheets. The first worksheet that will be handed to my students consists of 2 papers. Students will practice their knowledge on the definitions, and as the instructions say, find the definition that best matches the drawing, cut it and paste it below the drawing. After finishing, color the drawings. So what students will do is grab their list of vocabulary words, have it ready next to the worksheets, and they can go in whichever order they want. So they will, for example, I started with this one. So students will first cut it, and then this one says, a landmass with great height and steep sides that is higher than a hill. So what they will do is try to find this definition throughout the list, which is this one, which is mountain. And they will have to paste it or glue it below the image that best matches with the definition. So which one looks like a mountain? So it is this one. And they will do the same for the following images or drawings. And they will have to color the drawings after finishing with the definitions. After my students complete worksheet number 1, they will then play a Kahoot game that I created. I think that Kahoot games are really fun and engaging, especially for younger students. And through this game, students will be able to learn as well as reinforce their knowledge of what we have learned so far about geographical features. In addition, I will show how my Kahoot game looks like. For example, there's a question which is, what geographical feature is this? And it has an image, and it is the same for all geographical features from the previous list. And students have 30 seconds to click on the answer. This will be the second worksheet that will be given to my students. This will be completed after a Kahoot game in which my students will also practice their knowledge on geographical features. So for this one, it is kind of related to the list. However, the instructions say, write down a geographical feature, the definition in your own words. So students will have to read the definition and try to interpret the definition and write it in their own words. And lastly, students will have to draw it. They will have to make a small drawing here. So this is the last thing that will be given to my students. This is a template my students will use when conducting research on a geographical feature. So in this box it lists the things that my students will have to address in their research. So the first thing is the name of the geographical feature, which will go here. The definition of the geographical feature, what the characteristics are found in the features such as sand, water, plants, and animals. This will go here. A drawing that represents your feature, which will go in this box. And lastly, a connection with another feature or something interesting you found about it. So it will also go here. They will also have to write it here. So this template will help my students when presenting. It will help them arrange their ideas and what they have learned about the geographical feature. And this will also help me understand and see my students' knowledge on what they have learned so far. Last and not least, I included an image of the test cards that I will be providing to my students and that they will have to do as exit tickets in my class.